In this lesson, I will briefly discuss the relationship between different sets of parameters. Now, given one set of parameters, you can find all the others also. Okay. All it entails is rearranging of the two equations. Okay. Because for instance, you would write for the y parameter equations, you would write currents as functions of voltages. Okay. Now, if you rearrange the same thing, so that you have voltages as functions of the currents I 1 and I 2, you get the Z parameter set. Okay. Instead, if you have I 2 and V 1 as a function of I 1 and V 2, you get the H parameter set and so on. So, it is just a matter of manipulating the equations. Now, what I wanted to show here is in this table, I have listed all of the parameter definitions the way we measure them. That is, we either open circuit or short circuit some port and take the ratio of voltage to current or current to voltage or ratio of voltages or currents as appropriate. Okay. What I want to highlight is that no two of these are the same. That is, you may be measuring the same quantities, but they will be under different conditions. For instance, first of all, let us look at y 1 1. We are taking the ratio I 1 by V 1, whereas for Z 1 1 we are taking V 1 by I 1. Okay. But y 1 1 is measured with port 2 short circuited, Z 1 1 is measured with port 2 open circuited. So, please do not make the mistake of confusing Z 1 1 with 1 by y 1 1. Okay. The same thing goes for Z 2 2 and y 2 2 as well. Also, if you look at the expressions, y 1 is I 1 by V 1 and G 1 1 is also I 1 by V 1, but again they are measured under different conditions. Y 1 1 is with port 2 short circuited and G 1 1 is with port 2 open circuited. So, y 1 1 is not equal to G 1 1, okay, because although they are ratios of the same quantities, they are measured under different conditions. So, please do not make elementary mistakes like this while converting from one parameter set to another or things like that. What is true is that y 1 is I 1 by V 1 with V 2 equal to 0, that is port 2 short circuited. H 1 1 is V 1 by I 1 with V 2 equal to 0, also with port 2 short circuited. It is a different ratio though. So, we can clearly say that y 1 1 is 1 by H 1 1. Okay. Similarly, both Z 1 1 and G 1 1 are measured with port 2 open circuited. So, Z 1 1 is 1 by G 1 1. Okay. So, these kind of relationships you can build up, and you can also build up relationships for other parameters, but especially important not to make this type of mistake. Now, the other relationship between the entire sets you already know. Okay. The Z parameter is basically the inverse of the y parameter, or y is the inverse of Z matrix. Similarly, H is the inverse of G matrix, or G is the inverse of H matrix. Okay. Now, of course, if some of these matrices are not invertible, then you cannot invert it and find finite valued parameters. Okay. For instance, if H matrix is not invertible, you can't have finite G parameters for that particular circuit. Okay. So, that means that that circuit cannot be meaningfully represented by G parameters. Okay. But if they are invertible, you can use any of the 4 parameter sets for describing the circuit. Okay.